would have a very good and useful course and meeting together. So I try to share my screen in a second, and also please give me feedback in any time that you notice my voice is not clear or the screen is freezing. So I would fix it by resetting the connection. Okay. I try to share my screen right now. Okay, do you see my screen right now? Can you see it?
Oh, yes, we can.
Great. Okay. So again, hello to everyone. So happy to be here and very thankful for this opportunity. My lecture and the topic that I'm going to talk about is about introduction to exchanges and the wallets. And I'm Hedayat Bazafkan. You can call me Hed. It's much more easier and the short form. And thank you for the opportunity from Institutional to have this lecture today together. So a little bit about me. I am the Web3 and blockchain developer as was explained and introduced by David, and also more than 4 years working in Coupon API team. And in general, it's more than 7 years. I have experience in Web2 as a full stack developer in both backend and front side. And mostly I'm working in the backend side at the moment in the smart contract developing and API developing. And also at the same time, I am working in the AI agent developers. And we can also always find me on its under this handle, Hed_Bazafkan, or on the LinkedIn. You can type my name and find me there, and we can get connected. And if you had any questions or ideas, always open to that. So let's jump into the topics and items that I want to talk today. The agenda that we have today is first a very simple introduction to the exchanges, different type of them, and what they do for us, what we can expect from them. After that, I'm going to talk about the wallets, different type of the wallets, and the private keys, the public keys, and all the aspect and characteristics that come with the wallets, and how to secure your assets in the wallets that you have. And after that, I try also to explain about the blockchain explorers and also the tools that we have to check our wallets, our addresses, and our transactions on the chains and network. So I try to keep it simple and at the same time try to keep the meeting fun, because I don't want to challenge you guys so much and also make you bored. But at the same time, for the different parts, I try to come out of the presentation and also have some practical words on the real space, like on the browser or also wallets. So I try to first say the theory, and after that, show you the practical way of working with the wallets and exchanges. I'm expecting you to, after this, meeting, understand the different type of the exchanges and how they work, and different type of the wallets you can use and find, and how to work with them. And after that, how to use the chain explorers and how to keep your wallets secure and your assets inside them. So let's first go to the exchanges. As you know already, we have two different type of the exchanges, the sets and the dates exchanges. And the part that, the place that I am already working inside it, I mean, the coupon exchange is one of the example for the sets exchanges, which is a stand for the centralized exchanges, and that's for the decentralized exchanges. So these are two different types of the exchanges we have at the moment on the market and in the crypto world. And they have different usage, different followers and users, and different ways of working with them. So for the first one, I mean the sets, centralized exchanges, we have different the order book and passing KYC. I mean the way that you actually they provide for you, and both of them provide different services, but in general, the sets, I mean, the centralized exchanges have more services that you can use. So let's go for some example of them. For the services that the set is the spot trading. Spot trading is actually when you really buy the asset in reality, and you can really transfer that asset that you have bought to your wallet. For example, when you buy asset on the stock market, you actually are buying some share of that asset, and this is the spot. The same in the crypto world. The margin trading, as you know, is when you really, in reality, borrow some asset from another user or from the exchange and then try to do the trading. The futures trading, which is actually you don't really buy any asset. It's just a paper contract, and you do and you have the option of using the leverage, and the liquidation happens sometimes and things like that. You don't want to do any trading, and you just want to earn some interest from the assets you already have. So you actually transfer them to the exchange, and then after that you can get some APR and interest per year or per month. There are some other services that you can see on every exchanges, like the pre-sales, when you want to buy some of the tokens before their real launch on the exchange. It's something like the ICO. The mining, of course, you are familiar with this topic already, with this concept. When you actually are involved in the mining of the tokens and coins that we know, like the Bitcoins, but using the facilities that the exchanges are providing for you. Also, you can see different campaigns for getting reward and getting prize on the every exchanges. And the last one that is actually related to the section that I'm coming from is the API trading, when you are actually trying to make your own code or platform and then access to the exchange and using its services using the API endpoints. This is more a programming factor that I don't want to talk about it today. So before going to the debt exchanges, let me also show you some example for the sets. You already know about the KuCoin, the one of the best exchanges that you can use for your trading, for the sets trading, sets exchanges, I mean. And you can see different part, as I explained, like the part margin and also drive the other parts that I said, like the earn and staking, I don't know, the launch hub, different research lab and other things. And also it has some a special section for the institutional and companies that or broker that like to work with the main exchange. And all the parts that you see here are also actually similar in other exchanges as well. I mean, in other sets exchanges. So I don't want to go in every section by one because it takes a lot of time, but you already are familiar with these topics, I guess. And also about the order book that I just explained in my first slide. I hope it loads very soon. Sorry for the connection. Oh, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, maybe we can skip this part. No, it's loaded. Okay, you can see the order book here. It's actually one of the main part of every exchange, no matter if it's sets or debts. It's actually the place that all the matchings, all the trades happen. And this is being generated by a part inside every exchange, which is called the matching engine, which is the part that actually, the core part inside every exchange that matches the order with each other. When the buyers and the sellers want to place their orders and try to match and make profit and things like that. And by every match that happen, a fees will be also deducted from the orders that users has placed. And this is the part that every user has to pay attention in every kind of trading, like a spot, margin, or futures, to calculate their fees or include it in their calculations. So let's go to the next part. So we have another type, as I said, the DEX exchanges. You can see some of the famous names of the DEX exchanges that we have already on the market. The first one is the Uniswap, which is actually built on the Ethereum and Arbitrum, and it's one of the first DEX exchanges that we had in the crypto world. The second one is the PancakeSwap, which is very famous and built on the BNB chain. Also, we have 1inch and SushiSwap, and the last one, which is also very famous these days, is the Hyperliquid, which is built for the futures they're trading on the DEX exchanges. So what is the difference between the DEX and the sets in reality? It's actually about how you manage your assets and do the trade on them. I mean, for example, when you are using the sets, you actually are transferring your assets inside the wallets of that exchange and give the control to the exchange, and then do the trading on them. But when you are using the Uniswap, for example, or other DEX exchanges, the control of your assets in reality are in your hand. And it's coming from the difference between the custodial and non-custodial type of the wallets, which I will talk about it later, very soon. So when you want to actually have the control on your assets, maybe it's better to use the DEX exchanges. But when you want to use different facilities and the tools that, for example, like, as I explained, like futures, spot, margin, or earn tools, you can use the sets exchanges. So the difference is only about the way that you are actually giving the control for your assets to the exchange. Let's also have a look at example for the another if I can change. This one is, for example, the Uniswap. I hope the screen is clear. Exchanges, one of the old one. You can easily connect your wallets to the DEX. If I click on the connect, you can see different type of the wallet it supports. For example, the MetaMask, SafePal, and stuff. If I click on the MetaMask, which is more famous or more common, it sometimes takes some time because it has to first get connected to each other on the, sorry, it's connection error. On your browser, and after that you can actually use them. So it sometimes happens. You have to be patient with that. I just want to show you how it connects to the app. I don't want to do any special trading here. So let's escape this part because the connection obviously is not that good. But you have the different options here for the wallets, which I will going to talk about it a little bit later. And mostly for the Uniswap, the MetaMask is more common. and because it has better connection to the Uniswap. And after you, for example, connect on it, it tries to get connected to the wallet, if it works this time, hopefully. And then you enter your password. No, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't matter. Let's escape this part. And then you can access your wallet to debt exchange and try to start doing the swap trading and things like that. We can see also the interface here. When the wallet is connected, you can easily transfer or and here's the actually the part you enter the password and get connected to the debts. Okay, let's go for the next slide. Let's start a little bit about this, which I was already talking and introducing them when I was talking about the dates and sets differences. In general, we have actually two types of custodial and non-custodial wallets. So what's the difference here? When you actually want to have control over your assets, you are using the non-custodial wallets. And they are the asset wallet type of wallets that actually you have control over your assets, and it's not in control of any other third party. And also for the hot and cold wallets, the difference here for the hot one, as it comes from its name, it's actually happens on the internet and connected to internet all the time, like the MetaMask that I already showed you, and also SafePal and other wallets similar to that. So because it's actually connected to the internet all the time, there is actually all the information like the private key and the public key that is generated during the making the wallets are stored on the internet database. So you have to be careful more about the safety. But for the cold wallet, as it comes from the name, it's somehow like the offline wallets. I mean, it's not all the time connected to the internet. And because of that, it's more safer. Different type of the cold wallet that I can introduce here is the hardware wallet, like the ledger you can see on the screen here. I also bring one example of the ledger here with myself. And you can actually use it with its dedicated software, which it comes with the wallet. This is the ledger wallet. I hope it's visible on the screen. And I'm not going to, I'm not actually doing any advertising here. I'm just introducing it here. And we have different famous hard wallet, like the Ledger, like the SafePal, Tether, and things like that. You can see most famous ones on the screen. So when using the cold wallet, like the hardware wallet, you actually using their specific software, your assets become more safe because it's not all the time connected to the internet. And because of that, you can make sure that your private keys are more safer. And it's also more safer from the attacks like the hacking and things like that. And another type of the cold wallet is paper wallet. When you want to actually keep your assets more safer, even more safer than the hardware wallet, you can use the paper wallet. How does it work? Actually, when you make the wallet offline, you can also make the wallet offline. It's another point. Then you get your private key and the public key, and you can write down your private key on the paper, and after that destroy the public key on your computer. And then even though that it has been built offline, it still works on the network, and other users can send assets to your public key. And it's really safe because it's offline. In case that you keep your private key in a safe place and never lose it, and also never forget where you have placed that. So this is example of the cold wallet. Hot wallet that you can build on the space of the internet, extensions that can be installed on the different browsers like Chrome or Edge, but also you can download the mobile applications of them. So as I explained, the hot wallets like the MetaMask or SafePal are less safer than the cold wallets, but they are free and you can make as much as they want. So that's why most of the users and the crypto traders are using these type of the wallets, but they have to be really, make sure that their wallets stay safe. I later will talk about different measures that you can take about making your wallet safer. So let's go to the on the browser and show you example of the one of the examples for the hot wallet and the online wallet like the SafePal. It looks like that little bit my system is overloaded. Let's close some applications. Okay. So for example, for the SafePal, which is I have already installed the extension for the Chrome and is an example of the hot wallets, which is the online wallets. I try to load it now and then try to make an example of the wallets in front of you. I don't know why it doesn't work at the moment. Where is it? Let me close my video. Maybe it may become better.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, because I think you are seeing a lot of freeze on my screen, yes, because of the internet connection.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
turning
Let
off
me,
the video. Oh, I think.
okay, I close my video. Okay, it's working better, yes. So for example, for the SafePal, which I already has, downloaded the extension for the Chrome. I made an example of the wallet before, but let's make it from the beginning. Hopefully this time it works better. Okay, this is the web page of the SafePal. And you can see different type that we have here for the browser, mobile application, and also the firmware it has. It also has a type of the hardware wallet. So let's get started and make a new wallet here. So this is the process that I'm going to do here is the same for the all online and the hot wallets that you can find on the market, just with some differences in the UI and their interface, but the procedure is the same. So it's actually first asked me for a password. The password that I'm going to enter at the moment is the one that you enter every time that you want to open your wallet and use it. on your actually trusted browser. So this password is something like an internal password, but it's different from the other keys that we are going to make later. You have to remember and write this password in a safe place and never forget it, but also never share it with anyone or send it via the social medias or any chats to any person. You have to keep it for yourself. So for example, I enter the password.
All
24 volts.
right. Let's. Oh, okay. We couldn't share you for like 10 seconds back.
Sorry,
We couldn't hear you for about 10 seconds,
is my voice
but your
clear now?
voice is clear now. Yes, you're clear now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Also, can you see the screen that I am sharing or not?
Yes, we can. We can see your
Great,
screen.
great. Good. I try to make this very fast and summarized. No problem. Okay, the private keys are a very long, characters and made of the characters and the different numbers and I mean it's not readable with the human, but the wallet and the application behind the wallet try to convert the private key to a memorable and human readable actually safe words, which is called the seed phrases or the mnemonic phrase, as you can see on the screen. And you have to write down those words, which are 12 or 24 words in a safe place. So if any person access those seed phrases, which are actually a stand and which are actually a way for making your private key, they can access your wallet and asset inside it. So you can see, for example, here, it has made me 12 words, as I said, and I try to keep it somewhere safe. For example, I try to write it on the paper and never share it with anyone. It's the most important security item you have to remember about your wallets, because it is directly in connection with the private key of your wallet. And after that, it's try to verify that I have actually remember or saved the phrases. So I try to enter them. The first one was this, and this one. It's actually trying to verify it with me. Okay. And last one is this, and this. If I have actually entered them correctly, it should show me a message that, yes, you have passed the verification of actually memorizing your seed phrases. I don't know why the button wasn't work. Oh, okay. So after it passes the part, you also have to give your wallet a name, which is actually something internal and not on the blockchain and not on the crypto networks. So for example, I put head as the wallet name. And now you can see we have the wallet installed and it shows the congratulations message to you. I will later talk about the dApps. So after that, you can see different tokens on the wallet. And the point here is that, as I said, the wallet has the private key and the public key. So for every major chain, We have the private keys that you never have to share it with anyone, and also in addition to that, the seed phrases that I said. You only can share your public keys, which is the key that assigned to your address, general address, like this, and you can send it to anyone for receiving the funds. This is coming from your public key, the address that you see here. And it's okay to share it with the persons and other people or on the network, but the private key never should be shared. And as I said, it's I'm repeating several times. It's actually assigns to your seed phrases that I already showed you. So let's show you where you can see your private key that I said you should never share it with anyone. For example, on the SafePal, on the wallet that I already made, if you come to the options and wallet details, you can see that you can export your seed phrases to keep them safe in another place. My suggestion is always write it down on the paper. You can see that the seed phrases that I already tried to enter and verify. And also, this is the private key. For every different chains, it has different private keys. So for example, for the BNB, it every time asks you for a password. This is the private key. So everyone that has this private key can access your assets inside your wallet and transfer your assets or take control of your wallet. So you never should share this with anyone. And it also comes as a a message here that, for example, wallet is showing you never disclose this key. Anyone with your private keys can steal any assets held in your account. It's also showing by the wallet. So it's just for yourself and never share it with anyone, because it's actually the keys that you can unlock and decrypt the transactions that come into your wallet from the network. And so it's very, very important to keep this in mind. But the other, the public keys, which is actually making the address for your receiving wallets, it's okay to share them and send them to anyone to get into funds. Okay, let's get back to the rest of the slides. Okay, next from the wallet, as I already shown you on the SafePal, I later go to the SafePal again, is the dashboard that you see on the wallet to actually see an overview of the options that you have and the accounts and addresses. And also the main application of the wallets is receiving and sending funds to users on the network. The next one is swapping. Swapping it's like the convert option on the exchanges. So you can swap your tokens together. For example, you have USDT and you want to convert it to, I don't know, BTC. So you can do it also inside your wallet. Most wallets, I mean the hot wallet and online wallet have this feature. It's not available for the cold wallets, but only for the hot wallets. Also, you can see the different dApps, I mean the decentralized applications connected and available on the wallets. There is a very important point about it. It is that you have to always keep in mind that not all the dApps are safe, and you shouldn't connect all the dApps and every dApps to your wallet. Most of the hacks and the security problems that happens to hot wallets actually happens because of the dApps that are connected to them, and they are not safe or built by the hackers. So you have to keep it in mind, and also later I try to mention it again. Also, you can do the staking and earn feature that I already explained that is available on the exchanges, also inside the wallets. Some of them provide that feature. And you can select different networks or also see a history of your transaction on the wallets. So let's go to the wallet again, to the SafePal, and show you the different parts that I already explained. Okay, it asked me for the password, that internal password that I entered when creating the wallet at the first step. Okay, it sometimes takes some time because it depends on your internet connection or the your computer, you know, very good. So if that happens, you can close this and try to reset and reopen it again. Okay, it works now. So you can see the different functions and the application I just explained on the slide here again. We have the swap function. We can convert different tokens inside the wallet. We have the same function on every sets exchanges and also the DEX exchanges as well. And for every swap that you want to do, you have to consider the fees and the gas fees, and also the commission that the wallet deduct from your asset during the swap. So some of them have some high fees. You have to keep this in your mind, because for example, it's not very pleasant for every person that to do swapping inside the wallet because of the fees it has. Generally, the fees for the swapping inside the wallets are higher from the fees you see on the DEX or sets exchanges. But sometimes you are in a hurry and you want to do the swapping very fast, so you use this feature here. Also, as I explained, you can see the receive button here. For every token and the chain, you can have different receiving address wallet. And the receiving address is actually coming from the public keys of that specific chain inside your wallet. So for every transaction and any receiving, you can give the receive address to anyone. For example, for the BTC, this is the QR code and also the receiving address here. It's safe to give this address to anyone, but the private key should be safe kept in a safe place. So you can see different receiving address here. Also, you can send your asset to anyone inside the wallet. If I click the send, and for example, I want to send, I don't know, ETH, then you enter another person, another user address, I mean, the public key that they have or the address assigned to that here, and also enter the amount here. And after that, it tries to verify if the the address is correct, and also the fees that you have to pay is already available inside your wallet, and then you can send the asset to that person. So also, as I said, we have other different parts inside the wallet, like the NFT section. This is one of the newest things that added to the hot wallets online, or also the applications and the dApps here, as I explained. So currently, there's not any specific dApps here, but you can try to download or connect them to your wallet. but for the and also the DeFi section, which is the part that you can connect different exchanges and dApps here. There are other parts also here for example, to make different another wallet inside your main wallet. I can make a wallet and generate the same process here, the same feed phrases and things like that. I'm not going through it again. You already are familiar with that. So these are the different parts you can see inside the hot wallets and the online wallets. Let's go for the next part. About the wallet safety. So as I said, when you give the private keys of your wallet to anyone or share it on the social media and on the network, everyone can access your assets inside your wallet and take control of your wallet. So there is a very famous quote inside on the crypto world, which is saying that not your keys, not your coin. You have to always keep in mind that you have to put your private keys in a safe place or never share it with anyone, also including your seed phrases, which is assigned to that private key. And also the password that I enter every time, and you saw it on the screen, which is the internal password. Also make sure that you are not sharing that with anyone, with scammers or in any chats with anyone. The next things to mention here is that if you are in any part of the world which is considered to be a restricted country or a country that is considered to be a blacklisted country, always make sure that you are using the VPN to connect your hot wallets to internet, or use VPS, virtual private servers, and run the hot wallet inside them. Considering the fact that that VPS or VPN IP is in one of the valid countries, because if you do that, then your transactions that record on the network would be considered as the blacklisted. For example, one famous example would be about the USDT and Tether Foundation. For example, if you are located in a restricted country and try to access the network and the blockchain using that restricted country IP and open your wallet inside it, Tether Foundation, for example, if you are transferring Tether USDT on the Tron blockchain, can notice your IP and record it on the network. So after that, all of your transactions would be marked as the blacklisted. I later show you an example of it on the Tron scanner. And that way, your transfers and your assets, I mean the USDT, are not safe anymore. So if you can use VPN or VPS, always try use them and use a country IP that is okay with that specific chain. Also, make sure that you are downloading the your hot wallet and your wallets from the valid links or app marketplaces that are safe, like Google Play or I don't know, the App Store. So because sometimes hackers and scammers try to send you a download link which is actually polluted with the viruses and things like that. And you download that wallet, but actually that wallet specifically belongs to that scammer, and they can get get control of your asset easily. Another point is about checking the dApps. I already show you on the SafePal wallet that you have the option of installing different dApps and connect them to the wallet. The decentralized applications that connect to your wallet should be safe. I mean, you have to make sure that they are from the trusted links, and because another way of compromising your wallet is connecting the polluted dApps to your wallet. And this is another way that scammers and hackers use to take control of your wallet using the connection inside it or the API connection that they made to the wallet. So one of the famous example about it is the Atomic wallet that we saw some years ago, that the scammers try to get access to user wallet using the API connection or the DApps that were connected to the wallet. The next point is checking the addresses. Every time that you want to send any asset on the network, or you want to get any asset, first check the addresses if it's not blacklisted or it is, or also make sure that the address matches exactly the address that you are expected to get funds from it. So, for example, I want to send you any address, any asset, and I share my address beforehand anywhere, for example, on the social media, and also you see that address in your wallet. So you have to match and check this address integrity with the address that I have already sent to you to make sure that it is actually my address. Next point here is about the links that usually the hackers and scammers try to send you for example, downloading and connecting trusted, or in general, never try to click on any links, and just try to download and access your wallet from the trusted links and website. And the last one is the I hope that's visible. Yes. And try to use the 2FA and Authenticator applications. It's actually available on some wallets for making sure that the wallet are more safer and more secure. You can also have the same security options on the exchanges as well. So let's talk a little bit about the blockchain explorers. What is the blockchain explorer? It's actually a tool, a browser that can show you the on-chain data, transaction, and every transaction that you are making using your public key or your public address that you're sending to the users for receiving any asset. So I try later to show you the Tron Scan blockchain explorer as an example. But in general, when you want to verify any activity that you have publicly, or any transaction, or the history of your transaction that anyone has on the blockchain, because blockchain is actually so clear about that, you can go to that specific chain blockchain explorer and see all the transactions assigned to that public key or public address made by that user. So let's show you an example of it on the Tron scanner. For example, this is the Tron scanner. Here, you can see that there is a connect wallet section. You can actually connect any hot wallet and online wallet that you have to it, and also make accounts and log in inside your account. But in general, you don't need to do that. You just need to enter here the public address that I already explained to you. And you can see an example of all the transaction happened under that address. Let's do that for example here. For example, in the SafePal wallet that I just made, I want to see any transaction under my Tron address that I already have in this SafePal wallet. It's still not working. Let's try to reopen it. Okay. So for example, here I have the Tron network as well and the TR8 token. And it has a public address, which is my receiving address. And it's assigned to my public key of the Tron chain in my wallet. So it's safe to share and send it to anyone. It's okay. And I copy it and then I enter it here. Then I actually put that public key or public address here in the search part of the Teron scanner. You can see all the details about that specific address, specific public address actually. So for example, if I have any asset inside it and any balance, it will show it here. Currently, because I don't have any balance in my Teron address, this is equal to 0. And every transaction that I make under that specific address would be made here and show here to you. It's also completely showable to any person and any user of the crypto on the network. So they can see your transaction you have made on the network very easily, and you can do the same. And it's one of the ways you can track different transaction on the network, or also track the transaction that whales are making on the network. So if, for example, if a specific whale is transferring a lot of assets to any address, for example, to exchanges, you can also track them here. And there are some other parts here, like checking the contract of that specific address, or transfer if you are staking any asset under that name or address. Currently, because this address has no asset inside it, you can't see anything here. But it's if, for example, the asset and that specific address has been blacklisted by the any organization, you see a sign of the freeze or red mark in the scanner of the blockchain, and close to your asset to your balance here. So it's very useful when you want to. It's very useful when you want to check your condition and status of your address, if you want to make sure that it's already blacklisted or whitelisted. And all the tools and, for example, other tools that check the safety and current status of your wallet are using the same tools, like the blockchain scanners. So let's back to the slides. So as I was saying, also for the making sure that your wallets are safe, and also the transaction that you have made on the network are not marked by any organization as the blacklisted, there are some other tools which are using the blockchain explorer that I just explained, and they are being used for checking the whitelisting of your address and the condition of the wallet that you are having at the moment. They are called actually AML tools, which stand for the anti-money laundering tools, and you can use them for checking if, for example, the current address and the public address that you have, it's okay, and there's not any transaction you have made to any blacklisted address before, like, for example, to blacklisted exchanges or restricted IP and countries. And these tools are actually being used widely by the exchanges as well. I mean, for example, if you are depositing to any exchange, I mean the centralized exchange, from any blacklisted address, and they use the AML tools to check if this is actually happening. And if that happens, the exchange try to kind of limit or freeze your asset. So you have to make sure that all the transactions that you are making, including the sending or receiving, are happening between two whitelisted addresses. And you can always use AML tools or the blockchain explorers, as I explained, for checking the transaction of your wallet and public addresses, if they are safe and they have made between two safe addresses or not. So let me show you also an example of the AML tools, for example, here. One of them is for here, TRM Labs, and also another one is chain analysis. Let's reopen it. Sorry for the bad quality of my internet connection. So as it's you can see on the screen, it's from in the main title of the website. On the landing page, it says the blockchain intelligence for investigations, risk, and security check. So it can easily show you a benchmark and a graph diagram of all the transactions that you have made. Okay, like this one that you see on this. Any accidental chance you made any transaction to a blacklisted address, you have to be more you have to be more careful after that, because it can be marked.
All right. I think our lecturer's network got really terrible. We got disconnected. So how are you finding the class so far? He shared a lot of value about wallet security. He talked about not sharing your private key, your mnemonic keys, and seed phrases. Okay, I think he's back now. You
I'm
can
sorry,
unmute yourself.
yes, you lost me. Do you have my voice now?
Oh yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Welcome back.
Sorry, I'm sorry for everyone, and because of my internet connection. Let me share my
There's no
screen.
problem at all.
Thanks.
There's no problem at all. We're actually enjoying the class.
Thank you. I try to share my screen in a moment. Okay, I guess you can see my screen right now.
Yes, we can.
Yes, I was saying that you can use also every blockchain explorer like Tron scan or Ethereum scanner and things like that to check the safety and the current condition of your public address and wallet. Also, it's similar to the services, to the things that you can expect from the AML tools. Actually, the AML tools that I just explained and introduced, like the TRM or chain analysis, they are actually using the services provided by blockchain explorers like the Tron scan. I mean, they actually try to access the blockchain explorers via the API and try to get the information from them. So you have these different tools to check if you have made any wrong and dangerous transaction to a blacklisted address. And if that happened by any means, you will see a red mark or any warning sign and mark close to the asset and the balance you are seeing on the blockchain explorers. So I suggest to you that before getting any asset from the every user that you see, on the network, check the address and the public address first using the AML tools or, for example, the blockchain explorer. And after that, if that were confirmed that it's okay to get assets from them, you can ask the user to send you any asset. So actually close to ending my presentation. The things that I just discussed during the presentation today was first talking about the exchanges, a different type of them. So I just talked about the sets and debts exchanges that we have currently on the market and the different users that they have. So if you want to have control over your assets while you are doing the trade, you will use the debts exchanges. And if you want to have more, tools and services for your trading, you will use the sets exchanges, and they are providing actually more services because their interface and the tools are more wider. I'll also talk about the security, how to protect your assets using the different type of devices that we have, like the hardware or the cold and hot wallets, and how to keep your private keys and public keys safe, and also using the different methods like authenticator and 2FA. And also I talked about the blockchain explorers and AML tools. So this is the way that you can see all the transaction made under that specific public address key or made by other users on that specific chain, and keep track of all of them. And also I talked about the AML tools that are used by being used by different exchanges or organization to check if your transactions and the public addresses are safe and you haven't made any dangerous transaction to any blacklisted others. So with that, we came to the question and answer part. I am open to any question here now, and if anyone has any question, you can ask in the chat section or also raise hand and open your mic.
All right. Thank you very much for the amazing class, Hedayat. We really enjoyed it. It was amazing.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
so much.
Sorry for the bad
Yes.
quality of my connection and the things that happened during the meeting.
Oh, no problem at all. We totally understand. Yeah, so we're going to the question and answer section. So as usual, if you have your questions, just raise up your hand or drop it in the chat. If you raise up your hand, we'll unmute you and you can ask your questions, and you can also drop it in the chat and we'll read it out and the lecturer would attend to it. We had one question not long ago, and the person was asking what is chain analysis. I did find a response to send to him, but yeah, we could start with that. So
Is the question
questions,
in
drop
chat
your
section?
questions.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Is the question inside the chat section? Maybe I can check it
Oh,
myself.
yes, it is.
Oh, yes, please,
Yes, it
what
is.
is the chain analysis? Yeah, thank you from the Abdul. Okay, actually, it's a tool, as I said. It's one of the type of the AML tools that you can use and find on the internet, and you can use it to check the transaction that you have made inside your using your wallet addresses. If the transaction that you have made are safe and the to trusted and whitelisted addresses. So if an unknown person try to send you any asset, or you want to send any asset to any other unknown addresses, first we can check that address inside the AML tools if that address is safe and it doesn't have any connection to scammers or blacklisted addresses, and after that you can send the asset to that. It's a very good tool for checking the safety and the whitelisting condition of any address on the network.
Well, thank you so much for that reply, Hedayat. Thank you.
No problem.
So more questions? Yes. So more questions, you can drop your questions in the chat or raise up your hand and we'll unmute you.
Oh, you're welcome, Abdul. Thank you. So you can also open up your mic and we can have some chats and talk together, or you can write in the chat section as well.
All right. Today's attendance is live on our platform. As usual, the tax is there. Click the menu, go to our daily tax, and you'd find today's attendance tax there. Yeah. Make sure you don't skip the attendance, and we'll have the recording of this class uploaded on our YouTube channel on Sunday. After I've uploaded the video, we would also share the weekly quiz, the second weekly quiz. So see you on Sunday. If you missed the class or you were having network issues, you'd be able to catch up with that. So drop your questions and let's keep going. If there's no questions in some minutes, then we'll be rounding up the class.
Awesome. This was a very great lecture. I think I even learned a lot myself. Thank you so much, Ed. I think you shared like so much valuable information here. I think if everyone here follows what you've shared, I don't think anyone is going to ever be scammed. And
Thanks a lot. Thank you for the nice comments that you're writing in the chat section. And also thank you to you, David, for providing this opportunity for me. So you can ask me a part
have
that,
a question.
Yes. Any part that is not clear, you can ask.
Okay, we have some questions in the chat. Obiora Cynthia. She says, thank you for the wonderful lectures, but she's still confused
So
on the
from
difference
the Kenneth, if I
cold and hot
pronouncing the
wallets.
name correctly, he's asking what private blockchains can chain analysis be done on it? Like for example, on the Monero, or you mean the privacy coins? Am I right?
Okay, I think he's asking about the types of blockchains generally that you could perform chain analysis on.
Oh yes. You can use it for different chains actually, but mostly it's been used for the famous one like the Ethereum or BTC or USDT mostly, because USDT is the one that most of the freezings happens on the USDT stable coin, different chains that it has. The point here is that about checking the chain, the contract, a smart contract of that chain, and if that chain is not inside the smart contract of that chain, there's not any phrase like freezing or taking control of your assets. For example, for USDT on the BSC chain, it is more safer on that chain because there's not any phrase like that inside its smart contract. So one of the things that you can check is checking the smart contract of the chain that you are doing the transfer, and also you can also at the same time use the AML tools to check that address and the condition of that address and the transaction it has made under that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. The next question from Cynthia. She says, thank you very much for the wonderful lectures, but I'm still confused on the difference between cold wallets and hot wallets.
Oh, okay. Maybe I haven't explained that very good. I'm sorry for that. So the difference is that the cold wallet, as it comes from the name, it is cold. So it means that it's not connected to internet, or actually it's not all made by the software. The cold wallets include the hardware wallet, like Ledger. It's made from a physical wallet that you can touch it, or the paper wallet, which you write your private keys on the paper and never share it with anyone and keep it in a secure place. But the hot wallets are actually the software wallet that I just show you one example of it, which is the SafePal. it's like SafePal, MetaMask, or other similar hot software wallets like the Trust Wallet. So because they are actually they are made from the codes, and they are being installed on the mobile application or on the browsers like the Chrome, and they are connected to internet. They are called hot wallets. I mean, they are hot because they are connected to internet all the time. The information are being stored on the computer or on the internet, and because of that, they are less safer than the cold wallet. My suggestion is that always using the cold wallet, like the hardware wallet, Ledger, SafePal, and things like that, or the paper wallet if you want to have the maximum safety for your assets. I hope that's clear. If it's not, let me know to explain more.
All right, thank you so much, Hedayat. Cynthia, is that clear enough? Did you get the explanation clearly now? All right. We would have room for one more question, and if there's no question, we'll be rounding up the class. Don't forget to sign your attendance for today. It's live on our platform. Okay, Cynthia said she didn't still get it.
Okay, let me explain more, no problem. So let me make it simple for you. The hot wallet is the software wallet and always connected to internet. The cold wallet, yes, the paper wallet, yes. It's actually when you are making the wallet offline on your computer, because the wallets also can be made offline using the algorithms and the software codes on your computer. And it's not still connected to internet. It is and you write the private keys that the wallet that the software code is making for you. You write it on the paper. It is called the paper wallet. So as long as you haven't made any transaction on the internet, no one knows that you have made a new wallet. Yes, as I was saying, as long as you haven't made any transaction on the network, no one knows that you have made any wallet. But after that, you use that public keys that made by that software, and ask any user to send any asset to that public key. It is being recognized by the network. So to make it simple for you, you can make wallet offline on your computer and generate private key and public key, and write that private key on the paper as your key and your personal key for your wallet, and use that public key being made offline by the software for sending or getting any asset on the network. As long as no one knows your private key that you have wrote on the paper, no one can access your assets for your paper wallet. I hope that's clear now. But it's actually a little complicated because it comes from the algorithms and the codes that are making those valid on offline.
Oh yeah,
So
the explanation is very, very clear right now. So Cynthia, if you do not still understand the explanations, you can just ask your question again or just indicate on the group, and I and David or any other member of the class who fully understands it can help you further and explain it so you'd be able to grasp it properly. And I think I would also be organizing an extra class that would go deeper into this topic. It's a really amazing topic, and I think it's worth exploring further. Thank you so much, Hedayat. Thank you so much for the class. One last reminder, the attendance is currently live. Don't forget to perform the attendance task, and you get rewarded for performing the task as usual. You'd be getting some AI units for Candweb AI. Would explain further the benefits of that. And also you'll be getting some tokens named CDE. Would also tell you more about that. But trust me, you don't want to miss them. Keep signing your attendance, keep showing up, and keep being amazing. Thank you so much for the class, Hedayat.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for this opportunity, and thank you for listening to my presentation. And I hope most of the concepts that I just explained are clear for you. Hope to see you again later in other, cohorts and classes later. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
We're absolutely looking forward to it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Yeah, take care, everyone. So, just as we usually do, we'll be having another class by Thursday of this week, and we'll be introducing the lecturer very soon, and then the subject that they will be lecturing on. And as Isaac said, make sure you sign your attendance and carry out the task, and then also